We are reminded of one of the most important concepts about being Jewish in the story of Esther. We read the book of Esther every Purim, and it takes place about 2,500 years ago, when the King Ahasuerus, is influenced by Haman and issues a decree to destroy every last man, woman, and child of the Jewish people. Mordecai, who is essentially Queen Esther's adopted father, turns and sends a message to Esther, who's Jewish, and says, "Esther, please, you have to go in front of the king and beg for mercy for the Jewish people in order to save the Jewish people." Esther responds and says, "Mordecai, don't you know that the punishment for appearing in front of the king without being summoned is death, and the king has not called me for 30 days? Mordecai sends back a reply to Esther that is incredibly deep. He says, "Then Mordecai said a reply to Esther, 'Do not imagine that you will be able to escape in the king's palace any more than the rest of the Jews.'" In other words, Esther, you're not going to escape this decree. "For if you persist in keeping silent at a time like this, relief and deliverance will come to the Jews from some other place, and while you and your father's house will perish. And who knows whether it was for just such a time as this that you attained the royal position." In other words, Esther, God promises that the Jewish people will be eternal. The fact that the Jewish people will always exist, that's a non-issue. The only issue is, will you, Esther, will you maintain your spot within the Jewish people? And who knows, maybe the whole reason that you were elevated to a royal position was just for this moment, so that you could save the Jewish people. Well, my friends, we all have talents and gifts. Every one of us is in a unique position in the world, and the Jewish people need our help. And almost every single one of us could be doing more for the Jewish people than we are doing. Who knows? Maybe it's for just this moment, a moment where we live today, where the Jewish people face so many challenges, that we were given our talents, our personalities, our money, all of our gifts. We are to use these gifts in order to help the Jewish people get through these most trying times.